Hello, and welcome to our market alert video for today, which is March 10, 2023. And of course, as you may have noticed, this has been a remarkably volatile week. A lot of the data that came out kind of fed into the concern that investors seem to have that the Federal Reserve is going to have to be more aggressive than it had originally been thought to fight inflation. Two things happened. One was, of course, Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve chairman, spoke and said that he's going to have to raise interest rates and leave them there for longer than maybe people think. So that was number one. And then number two, the jobs report came in really hot, meaning that the jobs market is still very strong. People have jobs and more jobs are being sought by employers, which means that people are going to be continuing to spend. And if they do that, inflation will remain high. And as we've said many times on this video and on our podcast, the Federal Reserve kind of views that inflation is like cancer and a recession is like the flu. Now, which one would you rather have? You don't want either, but if you have to make a choice between those two, I would think you'd say I'd rather have the flu than cancer. And so inflation is job number one. And if the process of eliminating or reducing inflation to tolerable levels requires us going into a recession, then in their view, it appears so be it. So that's the concern. And we're seeing all the volatility every time that nerve gets tickled that maybe they'll have to raise interest rates so high that they'll damage the economy. Something will break. We had a big bank in the technology sector that could not meet its debt obligations. So that's kind of making people fear that the entire banking system is at risk. So a lot of concern out there, and that's reflected in what the market did this week. So what does that mean to you and to us? Well, it revalidates why we think it is so important to have a sell strategy. In our firm, we call it invest and protect. And of course, it told us to sell in April of last year. And we also sold our stocks then, but also, of course, our bonds. And it doesn't appear that for the bond market anyway, that it's a good time yet. And of course, the stock market is very volatile right now. So what should you do about it? In our view, as I've entitled this video, it's time to get serious. And that is that you probably lost money last year. And you have to ask yourself, if the big banks like Bank of America and Goldman that are saying that we could see another 25% drop from here, if they are correct, what do you have in place to protect yourself against that? And that's something that we have in our strategy, we believe, our invest and protect strategy, for that very reason. We don't want to see our clients lose 20, 30, 40% of their money like has happened in other major bear markets. And if that were to happen to you going forward, in addition to what you may have already lost last year, what would that mean to you in terms of your plans to retire or your hopes that you can stay retired or maintain the lifestyle that you want during your retirement? If those things are at risk, given this volatility and the potential, then we believe that you should take measures to address that and have a plan to address it. And so if you'd like to visit with one of our retirement planners, I encourage you to do so. You can click on the link that you see below this video and you can schedule a time to visit. The downside risk potential here is significant. And so therefore, having a strategy to address that, we think, is logical and prudent. So I hope you will share this video with as many of your friends and your associates as possible. We want to help as many people to navigate these terrible, scary times as possible and come out the other side with their money at least as much as possible intact and the ability to continue to support the lifestyle that they want, and also to enjoy what we call your retirement, which is your second childhood without parental supervision. So these are times that we think it is time to get serious and look at protecting against the downside. And if you don't have a strategy for that, come visit with us. So thanks for watching this video, and we'll talk soon.